You know, Andy and I also spend a lot of time with our customers. And one of the customers that's here with us today that Andy mentioned earlier, we've invited to join us up here on stage, and Kim and I are going to have a chance to talk about what we're doing at Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank has recently signed a large contract with HP to help in transformation, and I'd like to invite the Chief Information Officer globally, as well as the Head of Operations Technology, Kim Hammonds, to the stage to join me. Kim. So Kim has quite the background, spent some time at Ford Motor Company, quite a few years there, also at Dell. We worked together a bit at Boeing, and now CIO at Deutsche Bank, as well as co-head of operations and technology.
Yep.
So Kim, tell us what's going on at Deutsche Bank.
Well, so there's never a dull moment, as you can probably imagine. So I'll give you just the highlights of a bit about Deutsche Bank. So we've got 28 million customers. We call them clients. We have kind of 4 big business units. So what Deutsche Bank does is, you think of us as a bank. We have our retail bank. We have our transaction bank. We have our high net worth client, which is called Asset and Wealth Management. And then we also have our investment bank. So we really have 4 sectors, 28 million clients or customers in 90 different countries. So there's no shortage of fun, is the way I would describe it.
Exactly. And you're embarking on quite a transformation
there
at Deutsche Bank.
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about that.
Let me tell you about that. So I was blessed with entering a company that's now 145 years old. We have various states of everything, would be the way I would describe it. So infrastructure was very disparate. Things weren't wired together kind of well because we had grown so quickly for many years, especially on the investment bank side. Huge proliferation of applications, not a great kind of thought process around digital and how we digitize the bank. So various states of work to do would be the way I would describe what I faced into.
And what are some of the business challenges in doing that? What are some of the business issues you have to wrestle with as you're going through that transformation?
Yeah, so business issues. So the big kind of headwinds that, as we call them, that are facing us. One is regulators around the world are putting a magnifying glass on everything that we do. So building trust, kind of teaming with the regulators around the world, and in terms of what we're doing and where we're doing it. So a lot of work with the regulators. Lots of work this industry is facing into the demands that the regulators have on our business is changing the business models. So the amount of capital that we have to hold, the amount of liquidity that we have to hold, is really transforming the business model, especially on the investment bank. So we have product sets where historically we would have made money, and now the rules are changing. So we've got this transformation that's going on in the business models. Another thing that's very fascinating about this industry is there are about 2,000 fintech startup companies that are trying to attack various portions of our business. So whether it's payments, we're one of we had, I think, 30 or 40 days last year where we processed over $1 trillion worth of payments every day. So Deutsche Bank has about 1/3 of the world's wealth that's flowing through our bank in some way every day. And so we have got this huge proliferation of startup companies that are just kind of nipping at our heels, right? And they're trying to disintermediate, however you say it, this whole business. So lots of change, lots of change.
For sure. And how about on the IT front? What are some of the biggest IT challenges that you and your team face?
Yeah, so the first one was just getting the foundation of the house better set up. So the foundation of the house in terms of just the infrastructure, right. And we went through a huge analysis on, before we picked HP, John knows that we ran him through the ringer.
Like never before.
Every which way, in terms of, who are we gonna pick? Why are we gonna pick who we pick? So what we're dealing with is we have to get the foundation right. And the foundation of the house is the infrastructure, and then we're also modernizing all the applications as we go through that process. So I was faced into, unlike any big company, we have 19 data centers. They're in various states of disarray. So I had some that were fantastic and others that were like, oh my God, I can't believe we actually have this situation. So I have 19 data centers, various states of end-of-life technology that's running in those data centers, needed to update the foundation fast and work with a partner that would allow us to set up very quickly a private cloud environment. So private cloud, lots of conversation with the regulator that it's a private cloud, it's not a public cloud. It will allow me the capability as we get more security protocols in place to burst into a public environment if we desire to do that. So I needed to get the foundation of the house upgraded quickly, and that's why we're partnering with HP. But it's not a lift and shift into consolidated infrastructure as a service. It is, we are touching all the applications and simplifying all the applications and all those interfaces and then all the data as we do that infrastructure as a service move. So I'm very excited about this. This is going to massively transform Deutsche Bank, and it's going to enable us for the data, using the data to generate new revenue models, as well as the big digital play that we're driving the bank to. So this is hugely foundational work that's going to drive that transformation.
And as Kim said, it was quite a process that we went through, beating out other very large technology companies that you would know to get the privilege of working with Deutsche Bank. And I'm curious, how's it been so far working with HP?
Well, so we went live May 1, which is how many days?
10 days, 11 days.
10 days, yeah. In 10 days, so honestly, it's been a real pleasure and partnership. And I think Meg sets the tone in a very gracious, wonderful way. In terms of, she said to me one time that she's got this team rule of, understand the issue immediately and then fix it in 24 hours. And those of you that are HP employees probably have heard the little speech on that rule. And, I've witnessed that real time, which has been a wonderful gift. So that kind of culture is permeated through the organization. And I believe in behaving like that as well. So the partnership has been great, the flexibility, the education on what it means to have the meetings with the regulators, I think is a learning that HP is going through. It's definitely a learning that I've gone through being in this sector. But the partnership's been great so far, and everything is up and running. We had our first DR test this last weekend, and it went off without a hitch. So I'm feeling very happy, and when I'm not feeling happy, you'll hear about it right away.
I know it instantly, 24/7. You recently announced this digitization effort at the bank. Can you tell the audience a little bit more about what you have in store there?
Yeah, so we are, I'm super excited about this because this is going to be this is going to be one of those plays that changes the industry big time. So what we're doing, we just announced publicly 1 billion euros of investment over the next 5 years. So our 150-year company anniversary is in 2020. So that'll be a big milestone for us as a bank. And we'll be investing up to €1 billion of investment over that 5-year period. And the play is really twofold. One is the whole client experience. So I don't have an Apple Watch on now, but we're one of the first banks in Germany to have German banking capability on the Apple Watch. Very excited about that. We've got 100 mobile apps that we've implemented. We have almost 2 million clients that are interfacing with us digitally every day in some method or channel across our business. So it'll be growing into new channels, growing the client base greater than the 28 million globally, and not with fixed assets, but with digital assets. And then doing what John talked about that has been done internally within HP is how do we enable our employees to work more effectively? And we have a lot of work to do. In that space. So it'll be the combination of the two, the client experience, the growth play, and then investments that we need to make internally to help our employees be more productive and effective.
Got it. Certainly you mentioned the fintech startups that are around. Certainly your bold move into digitization will stave off your customers headed there. So it's a terrific initiative and a big investment for you guys, which is great. I guess final question, we have a great audience here of customers implementing information technology in their individual businesses. What advice would you have for this audience if they're thinking about embarking on a similar transformation to what you're doing today?
Yeah, I think so understand, everything that we do in technology and both on the operations side as well has to run every day. So that's kind of the first advice. It's hard to talk to people about transformation if you don't have everything running every day. Nobody wants to pay it all attention to you if things aren't running every day. So I'm really big on understanding technically from an engineering perspective how you keep things running every day. So I pay immense attention to detail on ensuring everything's running every day. It sometimes drives people that work with me absolutely nuts, but it's got to run every day. That would be advice one. Advice two would be understand and analyze what you need to do to get the foundation of your company set up in the right way for the future. So whether it's the private cloud technology, how do you allow bursting into a public cloud? What are the mobile platforms that you need to get set up to enable digital and scaling digital robustly? That would be the second point. Third point, and should have started with this, it's all about the people. So I spent my first year at Deutsche Bank doing a lot of recruiting and talent assessment and making sure I had the right people around me to drive and scale the place. And because you're only as good as people with you. I mean, I believe that to my core. Our jobs are very hard. You're only as good as people with you. So making sure you've got the right talent. And the last thing is choose your partners well. Choose the people that you're going to share the toothbrushes with and the toothpaste with. Choose your partners well. Because when times get tough, when you thrive and strive, you've got to have people that you're living with, that you can trust, that are going to be there to help you, and in the good, bad, and ugly times. So choose your partners well.
Great. Well, thank you, Kim. Terrific insight into what you're doing there. And I think for all of you here, as you're thinking about similar transformations, Kim is local here in London with all of you. And certainly, if you'd like to follow up with additional information on what Kim's team is doing at Deutsche Bank or anything else related to any of our customers here in the UK, feel free to look for us afterwards or contact us accordingly. So Kim, thank you very much. Great being your partner in this journey, and we look forward to the next 10 years of this journey together. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, John.
Thanks.